Can you solve this math challenge? Here's the question. Find the sum of all positive factors of 3600 that are not perfect squares. You can pause this video if you want to give this problem a try. And now, let's answer this question together. So, our goal here is to find the sum of all positive factors of 3600 that are not perfect square. So, to answer this question, first thing to do is, of course, to take the number 3600. Now, what we're going to do here is to get the prime factorization of 3600. Now, to do that, take note that 3600 is 36 times 100. Now, 36 is 6 squared, while 100 is 10 squared. And then 6 can be written as 2 times 3, while 10 can be factored as 2 times 5. Now, 2 times 3 quantity squared can be written as follows: 2 squared times 3 squared. Now, 2 times 5 quantity squared can be written as 2 squared times 5 squared. Now, we can multiply the same base. We have 2 squared times 2 squared. This will give us 2 to the 4th power. So, the prime factorization of 3600 must be 2 to the 4th power times 3 squared times 5 squared. Now, let's set aside this result. And going back to our goal is to find the sum of all positive factors of 3600 that are not perfect square. Now, our strategy to answer this question is first, find the sum of all positive factors of 3600. Then, we need to get the sum of all perfect square factors of 3600, and then we need to subtract them. At that point, we get the sum of all positive factors of 3600 that are not a perfect square. So let's do that. So in order to get the sum of all positive factors of 3600, here's a simple technique. What we're going to do is to multiply 1 plus 2 to the 1 plus 2 to the 2 plus 2 to the 3 plus 2 to the 4. Stop at that point because on the prime factorization of 3600, we only have 2 to the 4th power. Now multiply by 1 plus 3 to the 1 plus 3 squared. Stop at that point because we have 3 squared on the prime factorization of 3600. And multiply by 1 plus 5 to the 1 plus 5 squared. Again, we have 5 squared on the prime factorization of 3600. Now the claim is when we multiply those numbers, we get the sum of all positive factors of 3600. Now, why? Why is this true? Now to prove this, here are the complete set of positive factors of 3600. I list them all. Now, if we want to add them all, what we're going to do is to multiply these three numbers. Take note, when we have 1, we need to multiply 1 times 1 times 1. That's 1. How about this 2? Or when we add 2, this is 2 times 1 times 1. That's 2. And then, take note that all of the operations is addition. Now, on this product, how do we get 12? So, to get 12, take note that 12 is 4 times 3. So, we need to multiply 2 squared times 3 to the 1 times 1. That's 12. Now, how about 20? 20 is 4 times 5. So, we need to multiply 2 squared times 1 times 5, and so on and so forth. Then when we multiply all those numbers together, we get the sum of all these positive factors of 3600. So this product is the shortcut on how to add the positive factors of a given number. And now, let's continue. So let's simplify 1 plus 2 to the 1 plus 2 squared plus 2 cubed plus 2 to the 4th power. If we do that, we get equivalent to 31. Now, 1 plus 3 plus 9, this will give us equivalent to 13. 1 plus 5 plus 25, this is just 31. Now, 31 times 13 times 31, this will give us 12,493. That means that the sum of all positive factors of 3600, when we add all of these numbers from 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 up to 3600, we get 12,493. Now, the plan is we need to get the sum of all perfect square factors of 3,600 because perfect square factors is quite less than the sum of all factors that are not perfect square. Alright, so let's do that. So in order to get the sum of all perfect square factors of 3,600, what we're going to do is to multiply 1 plus 2 squared plus 2 to the 4th power, multiply by 1 plus 3 squared, multiply by 1 plus 5 squared. Now, this product is equivalent to the sum of all perfect square factors of 3,600. For example, we have 1 here, 1 times 1 times 1. The next perfect square factor is 4. So to get 4, we have 2 squared times 1 times 1. Another perfect square factor is 25. So we have 1 times 1 times 5 squared. Another perfect square factor is 144. This is just 16 times 9. So to get this number, what we're going to do is to multiply 2 to the 4th power times 3 squared times 1. And take note that when we multiply this number, we get the sum of all perfect square factors of 3,600. This is just a shortcut. Okay, let's continue. So let's simplify 1 plus 2 squared plus 2 to the 4th power. This is just equivalent to 21. Now, 1 plus 3 squared, this is just 10. And then 1 plus 5 squared, this is just 26. Now, 21 times 10 times 26, this is just 5,460. So this is the sum of all perfect square factors of 3,600. Now, what we want here is to find the sum of all positive factors of 3,600 that are not perfect square. So what we're going to do is to subtract 5,460 to 12,493. If we do that, we get the sum of all positive factors of 3,600 that are not perfect square. So if we subtract this, we get an answer of 7,033. Therefore, our answer to this question, find the sum of all positive factors of 3,600 that are not perfect square, and our answer is 7,033. And as always, we are done.